It's precisely 1:15. This is the news on Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News is edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Sabrina Zawahir. First, the headlines. State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumana says emergency use of Russia's Sputnik V COVID-19 vaccine has been approved in Sri Lanka. Vaccination program is being carried out systematically. The Governor of the Eastern Province advises the relevant sections to provide speedy solutions for the problems presented at the Gamma Samaga Pilisandarak program. The DNA test of the dead body found in a travelling bag in Velavidi in Colombo will be conducted today. And in world news, Myanmar sees deadliest day at 38 protesters killed. Now the local news in detail. State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumana says emergency use of Russia's Sputnik V COVID-19 vaccine has been approved in Sri Lanka. Approval has been granted by the National Medical Regulatory Authority of Sri Lanka. According to the Russian Direct Investment Fund, 39 countries around the world, including Argentina, Venezuela, Mexico, UAE and Iran, have approved the Sputnik V vaccine. Hungary was first to approve the Russian vaccine for emergency use. Police media spokesman DIG Ajit Rohana says that nearly 30,000 police officers have been vaccinated against the coronavirus yesterday. The vaccination process will be carried out today as well. He also stated that cases have been filed against the 3,200 people who failed to wear face masks and keep the social distancing. At present, 3,286 people have been taken into custody by violating quarantine rules. Governor of the Eastern Province, Anuradha Yahampath, has advised the Ministerial Secretarial to solve the problems of the people presented to the President at the Gamma Samaga Pilisandarak program. She made these remarks at the meeting held at the Secretariat Office of the Governor of Trincomalee to discuss solutions for the problems of the people at the program held at the Gomurang Kadavela Kivule Kade Vidyale in Trincomalee recently. She also informed the Secretary to Zonal Education to take speedy measures to solve the teachers' shortage in the schools in the area. Attention was also paid to expedite the proposals relevant to the health and tourism sector in the Trincomalee area. This news is brought to you by Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing local news, the National Operational Centre for Preventing the Spread of COVID-19 says that 356 COVID-infected persons have been reported from the country yesterday. Most cases were reported from the Colombo district. Accordingly, 104 cases from the Colombo district, 63 from the Gampaha and 35 from the Ratnapura districts have been identified. The overall COVID-infected cases reported from the country stands at 84,225. Out of this number, 80,437 have recovered. Chairman of the State Pharmaceutical Corporation, Prasanna Gunasekara, says that attention has been focused to vaccinate the people who have non-communicable diseases. He made these remarks participating in the Subharati program of the SLBC today. He also reiterated that the support of all is needed for the success of the vaccination process in the country. The human service rendered by renowned lyric writer and environmentalist Sunil Sarath Pereira has been felicitated. A ceremony organized by the Ministry of Environment will be held at the Ministry Auditorium tomorrow morning. This program has been named as the Sunila Sara Parisara Abhinandana. Minister Mahinda Amaravira will participate as the chief guest at the event. He was the former chairman of the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. That ends local news. The main news story follows.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vedha Mahatmya in every home.
story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The DNA test of the dead body found in a travelling bag in Velavidya in Colombo will be conducted today. SSP Nishanta Chandrasekhara said that the DNA samples of the mother and the brother of the girl who was assassinated will be compared. After that, the dead body will be handed over to the relatives of the deceased. An extensive investigation are being conducted to find the head of the decapitated woman. That was our main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
In Watchlight, the Fisheries and Aquatic Resources Ministry has planned to amend certain rules and regulations in the sector to help stakeholders and prevent illicit activities, especially those that could cause environmental damage. Fisheries and Aquatic Resources Minister Douglas Devananda instructed officials to formulate a new framework for the purpose. He added that seine fishing was causing damage to marine life. The minister also highlighted the need for stricter regulations in the crab industry. That came to you in Watchlight. A bulletin of world news follows.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
The headlines of the world news. Myanmar sees deadliest day as 38 protesters killed. U.S. Capitol Police warn of possible militia plot to breach Congress. ICC opens war crimes investigation in West Bank and Gaza. Now the world news in detail. At least 38 people were killed in Myanmar yesterday in what the UN described as the bloodiest day since the coup took place a month ago. UN envoy to Myanmar, Christine Shireen Wagner, said there was shocking footage coming out of the country. Witness said security forces opened fire with rubber and live bullets. Mass protests and acts of civil disobedience have been seen across Myanmar since the military seized power on 1st February. Protesters have been calling for an end to military rules and the release of the country's elected government leaders, including Aung San Suu Kyi. Capitol Police say security has been ramped up at the U.S. Capitol in response to a possible plot to breach the building today. The move was prompted by intelligence about threats made by militia group, a statement said. The force said it was prepared for any potential threats towards members of Congress. The House of Representatives scrapped today's session after the threat was revealed. However, the Senate, which also convenes in the Capitol, plans to go ahead with a debate on President Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief bill. The International Criminal Court's chief prosecutor has opened a formal investigation into alleged war crimes in the Palestinian territories. Fasho Bensala said the probe would cover events in the Israel-occupied West Bank, Eastern Jerusalem and Gaza Strip since June 2014. Last month, the Hague-based court ruled that it could exercise its criminal jurisdiction over the terrorists. Israel rejected Ms. Ben-Shira's decision while Palestinian officials praised it. The U.S. expressed disappointment and opposition to the move. That ends World News. Prior to concluding, the headlines of the World News once again. Myanmar sees deadliest day as 38 protesters killed. U.S. Capitol Police warn of possible militia plot to breach Congress. ICC opens war crimes investigation in West Bank and Gaza. With that, we conclude the World News. Next up, it's the development news.
World News. Brought Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News is brought to you by
CIB offers valuable prize for New Year from 1st of 15th of March. Our choice in our own place. CIB.
The first meeting of the task force on gem and jewellery export was held under the State Minister Ajit Niwad Cabral at the premises of the Central Bank yesterday. It was discussed to establish 3 jewellery research centres with international standards in Ratnapura, Galle and Colombo areas. A proposal was also submitted to hold international high-standard gem auction in Hambantota with the participation of foreign buyers. That was development news. Next up is the sports news.
Development News was brought to you by
CIB offers valuable prize for New Year from 1st of 15th of March. Our choice in our own place. CIB.
In sports news, the West Indies won the first T20 match played against visiting Sri Lanka cricket team by 4 wickets at Antigua. Batting first, Sri Lanka team scored 131 runs for 9 wickets at the end of their 20 overs. West Indies team scored 134 runs for 6 wickets at the 13.1 over and claimed victory of the match. Kiran Pollard became just the 3rd player to hit 6 sixes in an over in international cricket off the same bowler, Akila Dhananjaya, who had rocked West Indies' chase just an over earlier with a hat-trick. Kiran Pollard was the man of the match. That was the sports news. The business news follows.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Asiri Super, a leading shopping complex based in Mathura, was awarded the Entrepreneur of the Year medium category service sector at the Best Entrepreneur Award Ceremony 2020, organized by District Chamber of Commerce, Hambantota, in collaboration with National Enterprise Development Authority and supported by District Chambers of Commerce in Mathura and Galle, held at the Golden Pearl Hotel in Tangol. That ends Business News.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic News. Courtesy of...
Congratulations on your promotion. When will be our treat, huh?
How about today?
Oh no, I was just joking.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
The first initiative of Sea Cucumber Export Villages program in the country was held under the patronage of Minister Douglas Devananda recently. An acre of wetland was distributed among 83 families to cultivate sea cucumber. It is expected to export 56 tons of sea cucumber annually from these villages and the target income of over 120 million rupees. That ends Economic News.
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
No, Amma. We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
Oh, really? How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy. She might be feeling very uncomfortable. The airport must be heavily crowded because it's a season.
Amma, calm down. Everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge. There's nothing to worry.
Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
Finally, it's a look at the weather report. The Met Department says mainly fair weather will prevail over most parts of the island. There is a slight possibility of occurrence ground frost in Norelia district during the early morning hours. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in central, Sabaragamua, Uva and western provinces during the morning. That was the weather report. Prior to concluding this bulletin of news, the headlines once again. State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumana says emergency use of Russia's Sputnik V COVID-19 vaccine has been approved in Sri Lanka. Vaccination program is being carried out systematically. The governor of the Eastern Province advises the relevant sections to provide speedy solutions for the problems presented at the Gama Samaga Pilisandarak program. The DNA test of the dead body found in a travelling bag in Velavidya in Colombo will be conducted today. With that, we conclude the news and over to my friend and certainly yours, who's all geared up to keep you entertained with a wonderful collection of music indeed. Over to you, Niranjan.